news. Real talk. This isn't about the play no more. This is about $40 million a year canceling out $28 million a year. You might want to listen to me. I'm giving it to you on the real. This is Real Issues with one Tony J. Sanders has signed, not going to, has signed to be implemented or say released. It's got a release date, first or second week of the league. You know, because naturally it's contingent on him getting
America's stadium's capacity is 75,525. There were 71,205 in attendance. That's a preseason game. Ratings draw. He has the #1 jersey sales, 5th round pick. Everybody, he's a star, and everybody who knows it, except the Cleveland Browns, who still, for some inexplicable reason.
NFL executives are losing their minds right now. Phones blowing up, coffee spilling all over those shiny conference tables, panic written across every boardroom face. Why? Because Nike just crowned Shedeur Sanders as the highest paid rookie in history. Forget rookie contracts. This isn't a simple deal. This is a hostile takeover with a Nike swoosh stamped on it.
Shedeur Sanders just made history with the #1 selling jersey for a 5th round. His jersey sold more jerseys than any of the other draft picks.
Shedeur didn't just enter the league. He stormed in wearing a crown and dragging a vault of cash behind him. No wonder NFL suits are sweating bullets in their custom-tailored jackets. See, Sanders was supposed to be just another quiet project pick. The kind of 5th-round quarterback you stick on the bench to carry water bottles and smile politely at the fans while the real stars shine. But nah, Shedeur flipped that script. Instead of fading into the background, he set off a full-blown marketing earthquake that shook the whole league. Scouts once dismissed him as a developmental project, but now he's sitting on a throne as the highest-paid rookie endorser ever. That's not just unexpected. It's shocking enough to make NFL executives choke on their overpriced lattes.
And when you think about
That's amazing.
Think about what I just said about the shoe opportunity that could present itself for Nike, who's a Nike school. And the reason I say Nike is because it's a Nike school. They don't want another brand with the kid wearing them on field, but they get him head to toe, okay? Not just off the field. They can get him head to toe with a signature shoe. If he had that right now, and you mentioned record-breaking Colorado State, Skip, how many eyeballs would have seen that, what did you call it, Michael? #2 prime.
And who's behind this chaos? None other than Nike, the same Nike that dropped Air Jordans, rolled out Colin Kaepernick's kneeling campaign, and sells sneakers that trick middle-aged dads into thinking they're still ballers. And now, they're about to dump so much money on Shedeur that even LeBron's legendary contracts look like loose change from a lemonade stand. Here's the wildest part. Shedeur hasn't even played a single regular season snap yet. He's already cracked the financial system before breaking a sweat on the field. The numbers tell the story. $250 million in rookie jersey sales. Not $25 million. Not $50 million. A full $250 million tied to a 5th-round pick who hasn't even proven he can throw a clean spiral in Cleveland's freezing winds without his fingers going numb.
Your first game? Yeah, I was at the bar watching it. A lot of upset, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
People around there, a lot of people did not want to see him, you know what I'm saying, be successful. If he'd have fucked up, y'all have been talking crazy about Shedeur. Show some respect.
I questioned how he went about things in interviews.
Yeah.
But after watching how much people hate him and how bad they want to see him fall, I'm all the way on the other side now.
Yeah,
I want to see him win everything. I thought he was gonna get picked in the first round and all that stuff. So
I'm rocking with Shedeur all the way, but I think that is dope that he walked into the writer and said, hey man, why you ain't got nothing nice to ever say about it?
And from that insane jersey haul alone, Sanders pockets a smooth $14 million. Now stack that up against his rookie contract. Just $4.6 million spread out over 4 long years. Shedeur already blew past that number like it was pocket change, tripling his salary before he's even figured out which side of the sideline the Gatorade cooler sits on. That's not just a win. It's daylight robbery with extra swagger. But here's the real shocker. The clause that's making billion-dollar owners toss and turn at night. The prime equity clause. Forget rookie hazing. Sanders didn't stroll into the NFL like a rookie. He marched in like a lawyer with receipts. This clause flips the old system upside down. Instead of being treated like some overpaid intern, Shedeur's now a business partner in his own brand. Every jersey sold, every sponsorship signed, every viral clip hitting social media, he's cashing in on all of it. Revolutionary? Absolutely. Unheard of? For sure. Terrifying to owners who've built their empire on control? You better believe it. Because if Shadow managed to lock this down as a 5th-round pick, imagine what happens when a first-round superstar decides, yeah, I'll take my revenue share up front. Thanks. The league would collapse quicker than a playoff game after a blown ref call. And honestly, none of this should shock anyone. If you were watching closely, Nike spotted it years ago. Back in 2024, when Sanders was still lighting up defenses at Colorado, he wasn't just racking up touchdowns. He was stacking endorsement checks. Nike didn't treat him like some random NIL athlete. They treated him like an empire in the making. They weren't just renting his face for a poster. They were laying the foundation for a brand that echoed Deion Sanders 2.0. Shadow wasn't just lacing up cleats. He was carrying the weight of a generational sneaker legacy. By the time draft season rolled around, Nike already had him packaged like a blockbuster movie franchise. Exclusive cleats, cinematic highlight reels, captions polished to perfection. They even broke months of silence on their socials just to scream, "Look at Shadow." Then draft night hit, and everyone swore he'd go first round, maybe second at worst. Instead, he plummeted down the board faster than Bitcoin in a Twitter meltdown, all the way to pick 144. And right on cue, anonymous executives started whispering to the media, he's entitled. Bad body language. Too obsessed with branding. But let's be real, NFL speak like that is just code for his agent demanded a clause we didn't like. These weren't innocent critiques. They were calculated hit jobs to drag his draft stock down so teams could dodge his groundbreaking demands. This wasn't about football talent. It was about keeping the status quo safe from a rookie who dared to rewrite the playbook. Nike didn't blink for a second. Instead, they went all in. Just days before Shadow's very first preseason snap, they blasted his face all over the internet like he was already holding an MVP trophy. And when he finally hit the field against Carolina, forget rookie jitters. He dropped 2 clean touchdowns with the calm swagger of a quarterback who had the whole playbook downloaded on cheat mode. Within hours, Nike dropped a new campaign featuring his signature watch celebration with the caption, "Only a matter of time." The timing was so perfect it felt scripted. Like Nike had the entire game on speed dial. The post went viral in minutes, millions of impressions flying in, and just like that, Shadow wasn't just an athlete, he was a cultural explosion. And the jerseys? Please. Nike didn't just push jerseys, they unleashed a full-blown Sanders empire. Graphic tees, limited edition sneakers, youth lines, women's collections, Times Square billboards. This wasn't a rookie rollout. This was a superstar world tour. They weren't marketing him like a player from Cleveland. They were marketing him like Beyoncé. This wasn't about local fans. This was global domination. In record time, Shadow leaped from rookie quarterback to cultural icon, while most rookies are still wandering around the locker room trying to find the exit. And here's the kicker. Thanks to that prime equity clause, he's not just a face on a poster. He's an equity partner in the whole hype machine. Jerseys, cleats, ads, TikToks, every single one pours straight into his pockets. For NFL executives, this is their worst-case scenario. Why? Because once rookies realize they can demand equity in their own brand instead of settling for crumbs, the power balance flips forever. Owners love treating players like spreadsheet assets. Shadow basically said, "Cool, then I want shares in the spreadsheet," and he got them. But of course, with success comes the haters, and they've been working overtime. The speeding tickets? Yeah, Shadow got caught doing 91 in a 65 and then 101 in a 60. Not a great look, but here's where the double standard kicks in and the critics start moving the goalposts. When a veteran like Myles Garrett racks up the same speeding tickets, it's brushed off as boys will be boys. But when Shadow Sanders does it, suddenly it's splashed across front pages like a courtroom trial on his maturity. Overnight, it's spun into proof that he's reckless, entitled, unfit. Translation: how dare this rookie flip the rules of capitalism and football in a single off-season? The media wasn't just reporting, they were simmering with resentment. And then came the whispers. He blames teammates. He acts too cocky. Funny how those words show up like clockwork whenever a young black quarterback dares to carry himself with confidence. When a white quarterback chest bumps his lineman, it's swagger. When Sanders shows the same fire, it's painted as a flaw. Meanwhile, the Browns' locker room is pure tension. Sanders is battling not just veterans like Joe Flacco, but also rookies like Dylan Gabriel for snaps. On paper, Sanders is winning. He posted a 106 passer rating, while Gabriel struggled with a shaky 66 and interception issues. But politics always lurk in the shadows. The Browns can't just bench Flacco, a seasoned vet, without risking locker room drama and headlines about respecting the hierarchy. Then came the oblique injury, minor, but just enough to remind everyone how fragile NFL momentum really is. One unlucky hit, and a hype train can derail faster than a Tesla autopilot test gone wrong. The league knows it, and Nike knows it too, but Nike isn't backing off 1 inch. Reports are already swirling that they've got a signature sneaker in the pipeline, working under names like the LL2C and Proto 92. Let that sink in. A rookie quarterback with his own sneaker line. That's not normal. That's Michael Jordan treatment. Nike isn't thinking short term, they're locking in a decade-long vision. They're not just marketing Sanders for a season. They're grooming him into a movement. This isn't just about selling cleats, it's about cementing cultural ownership. Every ad, every campaign, every billboard screams the same message. Shadow is Nike's chosen one. And whether the NFL suits like it or not, the crown's already on his head. The wildest part? It's actually working, better than anyone thought. Nike's football engagement numbers didn't just rise, they quadrupled. Rival brands are even reposting his highlight reels, practically promoting him for free. Shedeur Sanders has turned into a cultural phenomenon in a way no fifth-round rookie in history ever has. While the NFL old guard mumbles about his attitude, Sanders is out here building a fan base that stretches way past Cleveland. He's not just moving jerseys, he's selling an entire vision of athlete empowerment. But here's the question that keeps hanging in the air: can he actually win games? Because no matter how many sneakers he sells, no matter how many Times Square billboards Nike throws up, the NFL only cares about one thing: points on the board, right now. Patience is not part of this league's DNA. Sanders is walking a razor's edge. If he delivers, he won't just be another quarterback. He'll be the playbook for the next generation. He'll prove that rookies can storm into the league, demand equity, and flip the entire power balance. But if he stumbles, the NFL will rush to say, "See, this is why players can't have power." He's carrying the weight of a revolution, whether he wants it or not. That's why the stakes feel absurdly high. Shadow isn't just suiting up for the Cleveland Browns. He's representing the future of contracts, endorsements, and what it even means to be more than a replaceable employee in pro sports. The irony is sharp. The fifth-rounder who was supposed to fade quietly into the shadows is now holding the master plan that could turn the whole NFL structure upside down, speed tickets and all. And the funniest part? Watching NFL executives react like a UFO just crash-landed at the 50-yard line. These are men who've built empires by squeezing rookies dry, structuring contracts so one misstep sends you packing to the XFL. Now here comes Sanders, armed with a calculator, a lawyer, and the nerve to demand equity, instead of bowing and saying, "Thank you for the crumbs, sir." The league office hasn't been this shaken since Deflategate. Picture it. Some billionaire owner in a $3,000 suit, slamming his Rolex against the mahogany table, screaming, "What do you mean the rookie is making more money than my starter?" It's chaos in the boardrooms. These guys aren't scared of interceptions or injuries. They're terrified of losing control. What's got NFL executives shaking? Not interceptions, not injuries. It's spreadsheets. If Shedeur Sanders pulls this off, every rookie with a pulse is going to start demanding equity clauses. Suddenly, draft day won't just be about picking players. It'll be about negotiating with entrepreneurs who know their worth. Owners built this league on the idea that athletes are replaceable cogs. Sanders walked in and basically said, "Cool story, but I own the patent." And while the owners sweat, Nike is sitting back grinning like a Bond villain. This chaos? This is exactly what they wanted. They've turned Sanders into a living, breathing commercial, and every move he makes just feeds their empire. That Times Square billboard wasn't just an ad, it was a shot fired. Imagine strolling through Manhattan and seeing a fifth-round rookie's watch celebration plastered across a skyscraper like he's the second coming of Tom Brady, only with better sneakers. Nike isn't just selling shoes here. They're pushing a whole narrative. The message is clear. Sanders isn't just another rookie. He's the blueprint for the future of sports business. And the NFL knows it. But of course, the media vultures can't resist circling, and those speeding tickets are their favorite chew toy. 91 in a 65, 101 in a 60. Yeah, it's reckless. Yeah, it's dangerous. But let's not act like the man drove a tank through downtown Cleveland. When Myles Garrett flipped his car, the headlines read, "Pray for recovery." When Sanders hits the gas pedal, it turns into, "See? Told you he was arrogant." The hypocrisy is thicker than a Browns fan's winter coat. And then come the tired whispers about his bad attitude. The NFL has been running this playbook for years. They tried it on Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, even Patrick Mahomes before his rings shut everyone up. The formula is the same. If you're a young black quarterback who dares to be confident, suddenly you're too flashy, too selfish, or more focused on the brand than the game. When a white quarterback screams at his teammates, it gets labeled as leadership. But when Shedeur Sanders simply checks the clock after a touchdown, suddenly it's disrespectful. The message from the league is loud and clear. We love swagger, just not from you. And inside the Browns facility, it only gets messier. Sanders has to battle Joe Flacco. Yes, that Joe Flacco, the man who somehow keeps collecting NFL paychecks like he's subscribed to a lifetime backup plan. Flacco's whole career has been built on staying just good enough to never get cut, but never good enough to scare anyone either. Then there's Dillon Gabriel, who still looks like he's trying to find where the cafeteria is. Sanders flat out outplayed both of them in preseason, but NFL politics don't bend to stats. Coaches worship veteran presence, which is basically code for, we'd rather trust the guy who knows how to throw the ball away on 3rd and 8. And then came the injury scare. Sanders tweaks his oblique, nothing major. But that's all the media needed to fire up the hot takes. Can he handle the grind? Is he built for this? Should the Browns draft another quarterback? It's the same tired cycle. One bruise and suddenly his hype train is stamped with derailment risk in bold letters. In the NFL, even a sore muscle gets treated like tabloid drama. Meanwhile, Nike's playing a whole different game. They're already cooking up his own sneaker line. A rookie quarterback with signature shoes before playing a real game. That's not marketing, that's prophecy. Working names like Proto 92 and LL2C sound more like top-secret government projects than sneakers, but people will buy them anyway. Why? Because Nike knows how to bottle hype and sell it. Don't forget, Air Jordans dropped before Michael Jordan even won a ring. The trophies came later. The empire started with buzz. And Sanders? He's got more buzz than an airport runway right now. And let's keep it real. Cleveland isn't exactly overflowing with cultural icons. The city deserves a win, and Sanders is the shiny new hope. Honestly, he could trip over his shoelaces and still outsell half the Browns roster combined. This isn't just about touchdowns. It's about giving a city that's been through decades of heartbreak something to believe in again. Nike knows it. The Browns fans feel it. And soon, you'll see it worldwide. Kids in Tokyo, London, maybe even Paris rocking Sanders jerseys before he's even taken a regular season snap. That's the reach we're talking about. The ripple effects are already shaking the league. Agents everywhere are taking furious notes because the next generation of players isn't about to settle for cookie-cutter contracts anymore. They're all going to ask the same question. If Sanders can lock in prime equity, why can't I? That changes everything. Suddenly, every rookie deal becomes a chess match. And here's the problem. Owners hate chess. They prefer checkers, where the rules stay simple, the board is theirs, and the players are disposable pieces. But Sanders flipped the script. He turned the whole game into four-dimensional Monopoly, and the craziest part? He's not even bragging about it. He's just quietly stacking millions, pushing his car a little too fast, and letting Nike's marketing machine scream on his behalf. Meanwhile, the establishment is spiraling. The same executives who trashed him on draft night for bad body language are now panicking because the rookie out-earned half their roster before even taking a real NFL snap. That's poetic justice right there. The whispers in draft rooms were supposed to bury him, but instead, they created a case study in athlete empowerment. But let's keep it real, none of this is guaranteed. At the end of the day, the NFL is brutal, and winning fixes everything. If Sanders comes out slinging interceptions like a Vegas blackjack dealer, all that hype will collapse in an instant. Nike can't turn turnovers into sneaker sales, and the Browns can't move jerseys for a quarterback who can't win games. For all the brilliant marketing, the truth is simple. The real test happens on the field. And that's what makes this story so tense. Every single snap isn't just a football play. It's a referendum on whether this whole model of player power actually works. If Sanders pulls it off, he becomes the blueprint. If he fails, he turns into the cautionary tale owners will point to for the next 20 years. Picture the press conference. We don't do equity clauses anymore. Remember Sanders? That's the weight strapped to his shoulders. He's not just throwing footballs. He's throwing the future of rookie contracts with every pass. And the irony? The fifth-round pick who was supposed to be invisible is now the center of a billion-dollar tug-of-war between players and owners. Sanders isn't just playing football. He's accidentally leading a labor revolution. The NFL thought they were drafting a quarterback. Instead, they got a wrecking ball in a Nike tracksuit. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one.